2. Hopefully this is working. Check that it got tweeted out. Let's see here. Looks like it did. I'll give a few moments for everyone to join the stream. How's it going? Kevin, Clash Gamer. I'm trying to see if I can read the comments off my phone. Doesn't look like it's working too well. Yeah, you're the first. Thank you for joining. I'm gonna show my. How's your community day, Kevin? You have some fun? Did everyone enjoy their community day? Hey, Brian, man, from Perth, Australia. Actually went to visit Australia. Man, that was a couple years ago. 2016 or 17. 2016, I think, February. But I went to go and visit. What are they going to destroy? So there's this Valor gym. Actually, checked this Valor gym all out. Let's see what's in this gym. So Blissey, Dragonite. It'll be good against Dragonite. Harryhama won't be good against because fighting resists a rock. Snorlax should be a good one. Then Gyarados. So hopefully they're burying this gym so I can try a couple different ways of doing this. So I went to visit Australia. But one shini's still good. Like for me, like shinies are fun, but like I'm more about like the practical use of it. So I actually did so we rated. We call it like Wafu rating. Actually, I want to see if I got any new shinies. I was grinding today. No, didn't get any new shinies from grinding today. But obviously I got 9 Larvatars, Pupitar's, and Tyranitars. Hey John, how's it going? I'm actually at Times Square. I'm sure you know where this is. So I got 9, nothing crazy. Yeah, thanks Brian. I actually didn't get a chance to go to Perth. That's something I want to go if I come back to Australia next time. I actually really strongly considered Australia. In this case I worked in Sydney when I was there for how long was that, like 3 weeks or something, 3-4 weeks, like a month, and I really enjoyed it, and that was like one of the places I considered moving to, somewhere in Australia. Obviously I didn't get to visit it all, but anyway, so I caught 9 shiny Larvatars, Pupitars, Tyranitars, all that stuff, but and then we rated in the morning, and then as well after. I think we did like probably like 35 in the morning. It was kind of slow morning. We had like only like 5 or 6 people with us, so like we had to be like a little slower instead of like the full out like Wafu rating that we normally do. So it was a little slower than normal. And then we rated after community day, which was good. We probably did like actually I think I have a screenshot. So I think I did 50 today. So I did like 15 between like 5 and 7, which was not bad. So anyways, I digress. So I want to grind before I did the stream because I wanted to hit 15 million again before I started spending a boatload on Tyranitar. I already have 6 maxed out Tyranitars with Bite Crunch, which I'm obviously going to use as a. Actually, I want to praise that Mudkip later. That I want to use. Obviously, the Bite Crunch stuff I use against Mewtwo and other Psychic Pokemon. So that's still useful, which I'll show everyone in a little bit once I finish transferring some of these Pokemon. So I grinded a little bit just to. I did get soft ban during community day, like last 10 minutes. So it wasn't that bad of a situation. So now I'm over 15 million. In terms of my Tyranitars I currently have, you'll see here I have 6 maxed out ones, 200% ones. One currently still has Stone Edge because I was using it for what was I using it for? I was using it for Ho-Ho when we tried to do, in this case this was back when I was in Texas, and we used it for the 6 unique rock Pokemon against Trio. So we used Golem, obviously, In this case, I use Legacy Amistar with Rock Slide, Tyranitar, Solrock, Sudowoodo, and I forgot the last one was actually. Let me take a look. Rock. Someone remember what the last one I used? Oh, man, Sudowoodo. What was it? Obviously, it's something. Yeah, I don't know. If the next community is Squirtle, will it be useful like Tyranitar? Even if, Blastoise got the very best charge move in the game, which is like sim properties like Frenzy Plant, or even better, like its attack stats just too low, its stats are too poor to make it that useful. But if Hydro Cannon, which is the kind of like the Frenzy Plant equivalent of Frenzy Plant, Blast Burn, if Swampert or even Feraligatr gets it, then it puts them like at a pretty competitive level. Not as good as Kyogre, but better than Gyarados. And like depends on the properties, it could be pretty comparable. So especially Swampert was a really, really, really good typing. So if you think about it, like going up against Golem, for example, and if Golem has double rock moves as a raid boss, Swampert's ground typing helps it resist its rock moves, as opposed to Kyogre not being able to resist at all. So its ground typing makes it like a very favorable Pokemon to use in a lot of different scenarios. Or another example might be like Regirock when it has Zap Cannon. Zap Cannon just like absolutely wrecks Kyogre because obviously it's an electric move, very high damage. Regirock's attack set's not that great, but still does a lot of damage versus like Swampert will effectively resist because it will it will be weak to it, so it's water typing, and then double resist because of its immunity typing of the ground compared to electric. So, anyways, Squirtle Day is gonna suck. Yeah, it'll be like Mareep Day. It's like cool, like people like starters, all that stuff, but it's not overly useful. Anyways, the last quote unquote rock attacker was Ancient Power Rayquaza. Yeah, no, definitely. It's Swampert could be good. Swampert has like 3. I think its attack stat's 208. If I'm, I was supposed to call your boy Sky. You say join. Okay, it's I missed the last part. Oh, it's Disney. Yeah. I didn't realize that. Okay, well, hopefully you got connected with Scotty. Scotty's a great guy, for sure. I'm trying to see if I can see this chat here so I don't miss anything. Anyways, let's take a look at the Tyranitar. So the easiest way to look this up is that you can use this @ function, and that function will allow you to search moves, both fast and charge moves. So I just search @Smack because there's not any other move that has the word Smack in it besides Smackdown. So I evolved 13. I originally only evolved 12, and then I was like, I have like 2,000 candy left, or roughly 2,000 candy left. Let's have some fun. So I evolved my highest CP shiny. I'm not gonna do anything with it, but like it was I don't even know what level it is, like probably 30 or something. And I just evolved it so if I could use it in some future video or whatever. So, anyways, but yeah, Swampert. That's why I've been like praising all the Mudkips I've been getting. This is a really good chance to get some decent Mudkips. Obviously, I would also do like Totodile because like Feraligatr is gonna be pretty good as well. It's like Feraligatr's typing is not as good as Swampert's. Like I think ground typing is really excellent typing for what you're gonna use it against. But Feraligatr's like attack stats like 205, which I think is like the same as Vaporeon. It's like its stats are 205 or is it the same? I can't remember. I always mix them up. Let me take a look here before I misquote myself. I have the internet with me. Why don't I just look this up? Feraligatr's attack stats 205, and I think Swampert is 208. Yeah, so their attack stats only 3 different. But another big difference is that if you look at their stat distribution, Swampert's is 208 attack, 175 defense, 200 stamina. So stamina is higher than its defense. Versus Swamp Feraligatr is basically opposite. 205 attack, 197 defense, and 170 stamina. So it's like lower stamina by 30 compared to Swampert. So stats are effectively flipped. And you might not think that means very much, but in this game, it's not like typically when you do determine tankiness, it's like, stamina times defense. But in this case, like, stamina also gives you energy, right? Like, as you take a hit, as you take damage, or your Pokemon takes damage. I'm curious how you guys view it. When I always say, like, I take damage or whatever, because, like, I envision myself as the Pokemon doing battle. But some people view them as, like, these third parties that you're doing. But anyways, digress. I'm curious what you guys think about that. Anyways, so not only is it about tankiness, it's also about, like, stamina allows you to convert this HP to energy, which allows you to do more charge moves potentially. And doing more charge moves means higher DPS. Like, really, the main DPS, minus, like, some really exceptional moves, comes from the charge move, and being able to get the charge move off in time, whether it's, like, being able to fill it with energy bars from your fast moves, or receiving damage and then converting that HP into energy into charge moves, so whatever. Which classes in terms of also knows waterfall. Yeah. So waterfalls, oh man, so water fast moves are okay. Like, they're not terrible. They're not like what's that example? Like, bite is a pretty bad charge move. I'm sure the struggle bug is the really terrible one. Like, all these, like, there's some other, like, pretty terrible ones. Water gun, lower DPS than waterfall. I think waterfall is like 13.33 or something like that, then 8.67 or something like that EPS, and then I think water gun's like 10 and 10 or something like that. You guys can look this up and correct me if I'm wrong. But water gun and waterfall, like, both okay. Like, waterfall is like same DPS as rock throw, but way worse EPS as John has pointed out. And that EPS is like what effectively nerfed Tyrannitar Smackdown, because if Smackdown was a carbon copy of, not even a carbon copy, the duration could be different, but, like, the DPS and EPS could be the same. It'd be a much better move. Like, much better as in, like, Ryan Swag. Ooh, if you're not following on Twitter, you should definitely be following on Twitter. Subscribe to his YouTube channel as well. Does a lot of really great analysis. If Smackdown was like rock throw in terms of its properties, like, it'd be closer to 18% better than Golem as opposed to 16%. 18-16% doesn't sound like a huge difference, but when you're talking about, like, these, like, really difficult duos and trios, like duoing Ho-Ho, basically making it from a carbon copy of rock throw to waterfall effectively makes, like, duoing Steel Wing, Solar Beam, Ho-Ho effectively impossible at this point in time. Doesn't mean that we're not necessarily going to try, but makes it pretty tough. Versus, like, almost impossible, but I believe possible under the previous circumstance. Same thing with, like, it made extrasensory Brave Bird Ho-Ho duo from almost a guarantee. Like, you basically wouldn't faint. You go through, like, probably 11, 12 faints divided by 2 is like 5.5, 6 Pokemon, which would be entire battle party. You'd be able to duo it without it. Anyways, you guys can let me know if you guys like this talk, me talking about these, like, different raid bosses, moves, and considerations. Also, I'm just, like, bantering because, like, this is what I love, and these are things I enjoy talking about. So you guys can let me know otherwise, or if I should start powering on. But let's just let me know in the comments, in the chat, what you guys want me to do. So anyways, so I'll show you what I had coming into community day. So I'll start with the big one, or one of them. I had this 100% Larvitar that I had caught when we're looping, like, we're driving around, grinding, plussing, also throughout the city of Toronto where I live, and it was during Adventure Week where there were Larvatars spawning here and there. And then one of my friends, she had pointed out that there was 100% Larvatars, so obviously we quickly turn around, we catch it, and then there you go. And then I caught these other ones during Adventure Week. No, it wasn't Adventure Week. It was no, it wasn't Adventure Week. What event was it? Because obviously Adventure Week didn't have Larvatars. You guys can, anyways, if I show you the date, you guys could probably look this up. Whatever event it was some sort of event that was spawning Larvatars for some reason. And then I'd caught these other Larvatars and evolved them to Pubertars during like some double XP event. And I caught them during Adventure Week last year. So is this one 15, 14, 14? What types have good fast moves? Power up. Rock Week, yeah, Rock Week, whatever that was. Power up. Okay, some conflicting thing. I will do a little bit of both. Oh, maybe it was Earth Day? Yeah, Earth Day. Yeah, Earth Day when there was like ground Pokemon. Was that it? Yeah, that sounds about right. I was looping for some strange reason. Rock event? I don't know. You guys are throwing me all sorts of conflicting info. Anyways, so I'd caught these ones. Let me start with. I think it was this one. This one pretty small. 15, 15, 14. And you know, Tyranitar at level 40, which I can. Which I'll prove a little bit later, has the same HP at 14 salmon as 15 salmon. So it's effectively functionally the same as are important. What is most important to her with Rock Blast, HP, or defense? You know, I always say generally HP trumps. I'd like to come visit Toronto when Brendan. Yeah, definitely come down and visit. Happy to accommodate. Brandon's an amazing guy. Like if you guys ever meet him, very humble guy. I really liked his approach to community building, and you know, I know the Singapore community is not perfect and not without drama and all that stuff, but like the things that he's done in Singapore is very admirable, and you know, things that he's doing globally are very pretty amazing. So anyway, 15, 15, 14, and then I had. Where is this? And then I thought I had 298s. Oh, maybe I didn't. Maybe I had okay. Maybe I had 198 and 396 or something. Anyways, so I had these three as well. When is Brandon Tan coming? It should be like, you know, early August. We haven't finalized the exact dates because he's kind of going on this road trip across the Americas. So I don't know exactly when he's going to come. So anyways, I had those 5, right? The 100%, 98, and 396s, which are good. Like I was pretty happy about coming to those. And then, you know, I was, I think it was Kaito who told me that one Japanese player was going to evolve 14. I was like, oh, 14. I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then she told me like he's evolving 12. Like good IV ones or functional use ones or that kind of stuff, and then 2 shinies. And I was like, oh, okay, you know what? I should do 12 because I can always get. HP is more important than defense. Generally, I would say like it really depends. Like it's situational. Generally, HP means not only tankiness, like defense also means tankiness, but also means like energy for your charge moves. But you know, like for example, like if you hit a certain defensive breakpoint where, you know, I'm trying to think like waterfall goes from like, you know, 13 to 12, for example, that means that you might be able to get off an additional charge move that you wouldn't be able to get off otherwise. So like if you had like, you know, 13 HP left generally at the end of the battle, and then they did a waterfall, it fainted you versus 12, it allowed you to get off a charge move, then that makes a difference. So generally HP over defense, which is why like people prefer like, you know, 15 14 15 or 15 13 15. But you know, it also matters to these defensive breakpoints on whether or not you can survive, because if you can't survive, that means like wasted stamina, and wasted stamina means wasted energy. No, this hey Jeff Fields McCormick. How have you been? Or I couldn't read the last part. I'm assuming you're gonna ask about my community day. The community day was good. It was really good. Lots of people caught shinies, and like we're really excited. And some people caught really good ones. And the ones I caught that I ultimately evolved, I caught this like 15, 15, 11, which was like an 825, I think level 35 Tyrannitar. So I was super happy about that one. I was like, yeah, I'll evolve that one. It has like a little low stamina, but you know, it's like pretty high. So that was fun. Also caught this like 15, 13, 12, and then also 15, 12, 13, which was fun as well. And then I got this 15, 9, 15, and then it's 15, 11, 13, and then I have 15, 13, 12, and this other 80%, which I don't know the exact IV distribution. They just said is 87%. So yeah, pretty good. How many shinies you got in this event? I got 9. No, so you asked me how I've been instead of how my community days. I've been good. Been great. Can't complain. You know, have lots of shiny Kyogres. Actually, before we get into this, I actually want to show you like my crazy Kyogre luck. Oh my gosh, like this shiny Kyogre luck. I got so back my first shiny was a 15, 15, 14, 98%. Kyogre, I was like, I saw the 98%. I'm like, oh my gosh, got 98%. This is pretty exciting, you know, because I'm thinking about doing. I already have 6 maxed out, but I'm thinking about doing 9 to potentially trio Regirock in rain. Simulators put it at almost borderline impossible to do, but if we swipe and we go up against like a certain moveset, might be possible. So these are some of the like really, you know, intense end game stuff I'm thinking about planning for. So I was like, oh, okay, you know, 98%, I could use that, I could max that out. And then I subsequently got, you know, that was a Friday after work, and then the Saturday we raided all day, and I think we did like 90 raids or something like that, 90 legendary raids, and I got six from there. So I was like, oh, super happy, super pumped. And then next day, and I got 100% as well, with like 7 balls left. So it was like pretty crazy. And then the next day, on Sunday, I like decided to live stream it while we were like speed rating, half wafuing, and all that stuff. And then I got 7 that day. I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Like, yeah. Ask if anyone else is having that kind of crazy luck. And then, you know, we rated today, and just in the morning I got 2 or something, or 3. I got 3 in the morning, and then including one of those 3 was this 98% as well. I saw like 23, 22 again when I saw the CP drop. I was like, oh, I hope it's shiny. Boom, shiny. I was like, what the heck is happening here? And then we rated later, and you know, catching shinies. This was like, you know, I really need the candy so I could easily pineapple them, which made it fun to do stuff. So anyways, I was like, oh my gosh, this is nuts. This is crazy, man. When I got this shiny, that was like my 18th shiny. I was like, what the heck is happening here? Like, how is this possible? I've done like a lot of Kyogres since they come out, but I think I've done like maybe like 200 of them since they've come out. But like, you know, 18 out of 200 is like way better than the expected distribution. So I was like, wow, this is crazy. This is intense. So I was pretty pleased about that. Okay. Anyways, let's get to. Oh, did I just? Oh, that's weird. Okay. Anyways, I'll take a look at some of these later. So let's just start powering up. I know that's what you guys came here for. Nope. What was that? I don't know. Okay, let's do this 100% one. So it should go to 3670, and I should have enough candy for it. Oh, I have a quest here. Power up 3 times. Awesome. And this should cost me like a million something dust. Feel free to ask more questions or inquire, all that stuff as you guys see fit. should have I won't have enough. So the reason I did 12 was like if I ever need to do 12 in the future or whatever, for like some like, you know, potentially Fire Blast, Ho-Ho, or Blizzard, Articuno, or Zap Cannon. Sorry, Zap Cannon, Zapdos, those type of things. So we'll see. Let me know if you guys can hear me properly. Yeah, this like I don't know, on mobile it doesn't show me the chat. What's your total XP? Will be the next legendary. Okay, good. So 2 questions. What's your total XP? My total XP is like just over 310 million, and after the year, I'm wondering if there's anything I should particularly. Oh man, okay. I don't know why this you know, maybe I'll just watch my own live stream, which is very narcissistic of me, I guess. Okay, let's see here. So I can see. It doesn't show me the chat. Okay, there you go. Let's see here if I can see the chat at the bottom. Nope. Can I see the live commentary? Nope, I cannot. Man, I don't know how to use this YouTube gaming stuff. Maybe helpful if I had like 2 Android devices or something. I have like an iPhone here. Let me see here. Yeah. Okay, so another question was, what do you think the first legendary that we're going to use it against? Like, if they bring back the birds, it would be useful. Any of the birds. So, Moltres, it'll be the best counter. Articuno, it will be the best counter, because like compared to Golem was the highest DPS counter against Articuno. The problem is like Articuno's ice typing, ice moves are super effective against Golem because of its ground typing. Tyrannitar has a dark and rock typing, so it won't have those weaknesses, so it won't be impacted by it, especially against very weak moves like Icy Wind, which will like take all Tyrannitar. Tyrannitar is like actually a very tanky Pokemon. Not very tanky, pretty tanky Pokemon with pretty high defense and then reasonable HP. A lot of people think that Tyrannitar is just squishy. Oh yeah, Regirock is a good one. The problem is like, so I was talking to my friends about this. You know, Tyrannitar having Smackdown is about the same DPS. Yeah, it is the best against Party Cloud, which is a pretty common weather right now in the game. I don't know how we'll continue with the rest of the game, but Tyrannitar with Smackdown, Stone Edge. So Tyrannitar has like a decent attack stat. I think like I don't even have to guess here. I think it's like 251 or something like that. Let's see here. Let's see if I'm right. Yeah, 251, which is not bad. Smackdown, like Waterfall. Waterfall is like an okay move. Oh, congratulations on the 96 and 98%. Very nice. Smackdown's like a not bad move. It's like Waterfall, you know, high DPS but low EPS, very slow move, all that stuff. And a 9% 15 attack, very nice. But Stone Edge, as much as people really like Stone Edge and they use Stone Edge a lot against the birds, using Golem, all that stuff, and obviously I use Stone Edge, Golems against Flareon and all this stuff, right? The reality is that, let's say, 100% Tyranitar with Smackdown. Let's take a little picture there. That's number 1. Let's do this 98% next. I'll do an order. So this should go to like what is it? 62 or something. I don't know, 63. I don't know the exact numbers. But you know, Tyranitar with Smackdown being okay, fast move, and then Stone Edge, kind of being like this overhyped move. It's like a full bar move that does 100 damage. That's like, it does like less damage than outrage. Obviously, it's a very quick move, like very short duration, very quick activation. So it's very good in like those really like tight scenarios to get it off. But like it's a lot of energy for so little damage. So like Tyrannitar with 251 attack set, which is good, not amazing. It's not like Rayquaza. It's not like Mewtwo, that kind of stuff. And it having an okay fast move and poor, I call it considered poor charge move, means that it's like Flareon in terms of neutral DPS. So like, you know, when it comes to Regice, yes, it's probably the highest DPS with the 20% boost in partly cloudy. But in clear, even in neutral weather, like Moltres is gonna out DPS it. A lot of other Pokemon like Machanc's probably gonna out DPS it. You know, a few other ones as well. So it's like not that great of a generalist outside of its particular weather boost, just because it's like move combinations are not amazing, and then its attack stat is good but not super amazing like Rayquaza or, you know, even Dragonite or Salamence, that kind of stuff. So anyways, that's just my thoughts on it. So yeah, those are just my particular thoughts on it. Regice is a very good example, especially in partly cloudy. The only thing in like with Reggie, oh my gosh, what do you think will net me more dust? I've been slacking since our second month. Should I clear the whole stack now? Oh man, okay. You guys are gonna have to break your questions out into smaller chunks because I can't read these questions. You know what? I can just mute myself and then just go back. You know, I'll do that. Oh my gosh, it looks so small on this iPhone. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, let's see here. Oh my gosh, how can I? Oh, there you go. Okay. Something better. Okay, let's see if I can find this particular question. I reckon drop a star piece now. How much do you care about? Oh, I care a lot about 1 bar. 2 bar has a huge advantage over 1 bar moves, and the reason why is like one, I defer to simulators because like there's like certain situations where like a 1 bar move's so amazing or the 2 bar move is not that great that it makes a difference. So like for example, flamethrower on Entei or Flareon versus overheat. Overheat's like such a good move. In flamethrower is such a poor move that overheat outperforms flamethrower. Generally, you know, multi-bar moves outperform 1 bar moves. One, because like higher probability that you're gonna have wasted energy. So like for example, if you have like 90% of energy on a 1 bar move, that means like you could have done the 2 bar move or 3 bar move. Second thing is that when you're doing the 1 bar move, while you're getting hit, if you get hit by the charge move while the 1 bar move is happening, or even fast move, you actually don't get the energy a lot of the time, right? If it doesn't work out, which means that you're behind. Versus like a 2 bar move, even if you're in the middle of the 2 bar move, you get hit, you always get the energy unless you faint, obviously. So that like matters a lot in this game. Like wasted energy, whether it's wasted energy from like fainting with energy in your charge bar move, or not receiving the energy because like you're in the process of doing 1 bar move, like really impacts the results. That's why you see sometimes like these like crazy swings in RNG in terms of like when using a 1 bar move. Like I defer to like a good example would be like Ho-Ho trio with Kyogre. Like I tried that in Texas with Kaito and Oscar, and you know we have the mods to do it. We just didn't have like the RNG to do it. Like we kept fainting with like, you know, energy in our Hydro Pump that we couldn't get off, which was like wasted DPS. Versus I did it with David Trang and Alan Cook in Toronto. It's not like yes, at that point in time they both had 6, but we actually didn't. You only need 8, and I think Kaito and Oscar had 4 and 5, which is plenty of Kyogres that you need to, you know, you need to lobby anyways. So we had to lobby anyways, so it didn't really matter. And what happened, like when the Brave Bird hit us, we had like 1 HP left, and we were able to get off the Hydro Pump. And Hydro Pump has like a very early activation move, so we were actually able to get it off, and we were actually able to result in us having like no energy wasted. So 3662 Smackdown T-Tar. Let's do these 96s next. Anyways, so yeah, I care. I care about 1 bar, 2 bar, 3 bar moves. I do refer to the simulators a lot, but there are like things to consider. Oh, in terms of dust, I'd wait. I'd wait on it. Your encounter. I'm assuming you're talking about your encounters. Like I'd wait for a more general double dust event, because like there's water spawns everywhere right now, and you should like focus on catching those water spawns, and then that way you're not potentially wasting those catches outside of a more meaningful dust event, where more general dust event, I should be saying. So that'd be my advice, is just to keep stacking them. What I would do is I wouldn't stack water ones. Like as soon as you get a water one, you should do it, because like it's triple on water. But like these non-water ones, when you get like a Mankey or something else, then I'd wait for like a more general double dust event or triple dust event in the future. That's my advice. Yeah, that's my advice. But obviously on star pieces, most beneficial. Should I power up a 15 or max? It's a good question. So, to be honest, this is like very uncharacteristic of me to power up something that I don't need right now. Little spoiler alert, we might be doing something really. If the weather is cooperative tomorrow, we might do something really cool tomorrow. So I don't want to spoil it quite yet, but that's the reason why I'm also inclined to do these power ups. Because generally, like I wait, like I have Moltres ready to go, and I have the candy for it, more than enough candy to power them up. But I'm like waiting for the moment that Reggie Steel or Reggie Ice drop. Um, yeah, like there's gonna be, well, like they already announced a double dust. I forget which one it is, probably Go Fest, or I think it's double XP for the event in Germany, and then dust, not double XP bonuses for there you go. Now let's do another 96, which is this one here. Yeah, so I would wait. I think it's XP. Oh, you got 2 Snorlaxes. Yeah, there's gonna be a dust event for GoFest or Safari Zone in Japan or whatever it is. Do you have any idea when the Reggies will? I have no idea. It feels like they're avoiding releasing the Legend Reggies as like. Oh, okay. Bonus dust is until Japan, but late in the summer they're gonna drop the dust event. Is it red candy for GoFest? I don't know what it is. I didn't really read too much into it. Take a look. Thank you for the correction. I'm trying to take a look here. And with or without boost, and with crunch as the charge move, I'd be very surprised if bite is pretty bad. To be honest, bite is pretty bad. But like bite is also gets super effective, which is like 1.4 times damage, versus like partly clouded boost is like 1.2. Is Smackdown 20% better than bite? Man, I would have to take a look at the sims. I'm gonna guess no, but let's run Poke Battler right now and take a look. I'm going to guess no. There are exceptions. Like, you know, there are exceptions, but it's Mewtwo. I'd be surprised. I would be surprised, not totally shocked, but I'm sure it's close. I'm sure it's close and partly cloudy. Let's see here. You know, it does say Bite Crunch in but it's pretty close. Like here, like without picking a particular moveset, it's 7:15 time to win with Bite Crunch and 7:38 with Smackdown Crunch. Ooh, you got 98% shiny. When is the next community day? That's a very good question. Let's take a look. Good thing I have an additional phone here to do some of this analysis for me. I think it's July 8th, week before Go Fest. There you go. Another 96 maxed out. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, okay, there you go. There's my last one. I was like, where is it? That's awesome, Linus. 98% shiny. I'd be so hyped about that. Especially that, like, mat ready. Like, some people ask me if, like, I would max something just because it's shiny. No, like, no, generally I wouldn't. Because, like, I'm trying to invest in, like, battle ready stuff, so. Gonna roll down my window a little bit. It's a little toasty. Okay, I gotta turn my car twice. Okay, sorry if the noise sounds weird because I might connect to my Bluetooth. There you go. Okay, there you go. How many Pokemon do I have maxed now? This should put me at like 182 or something like that, and I can run through my Pokemon list afterwards. The lighting's weird here. How do I turn this off? I missed that last question. Hopefully someone else will ask a question and I can ask a short question or make a short comment so I can see and check it out. And I was super lucky super lucky and super unlucky. So when I evolved these ones, like, I think none of them had Stone Edge, but I was very lucky that it only took 5 TMs to convert them, all 5 of them, or 6 of them I'm going to power up into to Stone Edge, so I was pretty happy. Going with the Weather Trio hype to Reggie feels bad, man. I definitely agree. If you don't have a strong Raikou Zapdos, what should I use against? So, you know, if you don't have a strong Raikou or Zapdos, then, you know, against non-Blizzard, you know, Venusaur, Frenzy Plan, you know, Executor is really good. Oh, now it's clear. Oh, no, I won't be able to take advantage of the boost. No, that's okay, whatever. I would not max 13 attack Tyranitar. Yeah, just like, I think, like, you know, I've maxed like 14 attack Raikous because I check the breakpoints and that kind of stuff. But 13 attack is like, you're starting to plush like potential breakpoints, especially like Smackdown being a high damage move. It's more likely to have more breakpoints as the IVs moves along, which obviously makes sense. Like, you know, it's like Bite, it's Sceptile. Yeah, Sceptile. Yeah, I shouldn't forget about Sceptile. Sceptile is an excellent choice as well. Now I'm moving below 14 million dust, but like this dust event's so crazy. Okay, so here's the question of the day: is which one of these should I max next? I'm not gonna do the shiny, so don't even bother asking me maxing the shiny. Should I do this 15, 15, 11? That's level 35. This is 15, 13, 12. 15, 12, 13. 15, 9. 15. Someone might ask a question. I didn't really. This is 15, 11, 13. That one's worse almost strictly worse than this. So, or this 15, 13, 12. Which, so basically, should I do this 3376, 3006, 2592, or 2379? Yeah, it'd be a trophy for sure. Um, for me, the best trophies are like doing these like near impossible raids. 59, 15. Oh man, okay. Let's keep the votes coming. Um, do you think it would be possible to duo? Yeah, it is possible to do a Smackdown Stone Edge T-Tars in Partly Cloudy. It's actually not that difficult of a duo. You can actually duo all movesets, including Outrage, with Smackdown Stone Edge T-Tar. So, you know, as much as say like, you know, Tyrannitar is not that great of a generalist, the 20% Partly Cloudy boost, which is like Partly Cloudy is like the least interesting weather to do challenges in, does make it really interesting now. So let's take a look at Rayquaza duo. I think it would be fun to, you can duo, so like especially like double air, like rock resists double air. I didn't make a mistake where I said it was immune. That is not the case. I don't know where I got that info from. 2379. Yeah, like in Partly Cloudy, even against Dragon Tail Outrage, it's 29 feints, 539 time to win, which is actually, do I have the set up? I might have it. No, yeah, I do have it set up. 539 time to win, which is still a lot. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that's still 14 and a half feints. That still means potentially 2 relobbies, and 2 relobbies could be enough to, you know, allow you not to win. So, you know, Outrage one, not super easy, but definitely doable, especially if you like, if you have different teams and whatnot. So it becomes like the best counter. And then as well, it resists. No, it doesn't resist. Does it resist rock? No, it doesn't resist rock. Rock doesn't resist rock. Ground resists rock. So yeah, but even against Air Slash, or let's go Dragon Tail Ancient Power, where it's neutral to both, it's still 539 time to win, which makes it slower than Rayquaza and Jinx, and as well more feints than Rayquaza. So, you know, it's still like a pretty good counter. It's very tanky, can tank an Outrage, like unlike Rayquaza, and Dragonite for a decent portion of it if it does too many Dragon Tails. So definitely you can duo probably any moveset. 21 feints means like 10 and a half, which means like 1 relobby. So anyways, possible to do all movesets, even Dragon Tail Outrage against Rayquaza's legendary moveset and legendary attack stat. So any votes takers? 2079. I think that's like the most popular vote. Take a look here. Okay, perfect. Stream health is okay here. Yeah, let me know. Okay, in the meantime, let's set up a battle party. Smackdown. Ooh, this is exciting. Nope, I don't want you, Kyogre. I love you, Kyogre, but this is not your battle to fight. Okay, let's do a little test first. Oh my gosh, someone taking out the gym. Oh, it's like recommending all these. Well, I'm just gonna take this gym out. Might do this. Let's test out this Smackdown. Okay, definitely feels a little slow. Does a lot of damage though. You can definitely tell. Yeah, it looks a little difficult to dodge. Stone Edge. How's it going, Tyler? Oh, great. Congratulations, maxing your Kyogre. How many raids did you do? How many raids did I do today? Today or in general? I'm going to guess your answers for today. To get the Blissey. Today I did like 50 raids or something. I think exactly like a 52, including Tyranitar. Made 2 Tyranitars, so 53. And then an Absol at an EX location. Man, Tyranitar laying the Smackdown. Unfortunately, one of these ones, Hariyama is not going to be that pleasant to it because it does resist. And Hariyama is pretty tanky. Low defense, but high stamina. As well as double super effective to Tyrannitar. How many? I got 9. How many did you get? No, in general? Okay, I can show that. I can show that afterwards. Go Team Valor. I'll show you what how much in general in a little bit. This one has Zen Headbutt, which does almost no damage to Tyrannitar. Clearly does like a decent amount of damage with Tyrannitar's attack stat. It's pretty nice. Oh man, hopefully I can get off another Stone Edge before it gets off its charge move. I don't know. It's charging my move so slowly. No. No. Yeah, very nice. 9's good. Would you play? Do you play at Lincoln Park? Where's the go-to spot in Chicago? Who had Crunch, which is not going to be very super effective against me. You know, slacking. You know, has Yawn, play rough. You know, this is like where, you know, statuses and all this stuff would like matter way more. Like if Yawn could put you to sleep, for example, then it would be a much more effective move. Yeah, Linkin Park looks awesome. I'm looking forward to going to Go Fest. Oh, I definitely got wrecked by that play rough. Okay, should we do round 2? I don't have a ton of revives left. You know, I'll just go in with whatever Tyranitars I have. You know, I'm gonna try to dodge more in this one, see how it feels. Or you want to Cyber Sculpture Park is good. 112 stops. Oh my gosh. Oh man, that's awesome. That's a lot for riding the bus. That must go. Does it go down like where Bank Street, whatever that place is called? Very popular. There's Slack on community. Do you think that will give Slacking a fast move? Potentially. I don't know what's in Slacking's move pool that'd make it viable. I have like a bunch of. I don't even have a Slacking in my Pokedex, but I do have Vigoroth, whatever the second form is called. Oh shoot! I promised I would dodge more, just to see. It's a very like low motivation gym. That's awesome. Okay. Smackdown is just too powerful. It's just wrecking these Pokemon. It's not giving me a chance to dodge. Okay. Real test. Let's see if I can dodge this play rough. Okay, Wellington, Somerset. Yeah, I know. I visited Ottawa a lot in. Okay. Okay, looks like I can play rough's coming. And then boom, Stone Edge. Okay. That was a little like not optimized DPS for sure. No, I visited Ottawa. No, I did work in Ottawa for. Let me heal this Tyranitar. Here you go, buddy. You know, I did some work in Ottawa for like 8 weeks in a row near the downtown area, and you know it's a beautiful city in the summer. It's very lots of snow in the winter though, so Lincoln Park is gonna be awesome. Hopefully for Go Fest, hopefully not too many glitches, and hopefully I get to meet some of you guys at Go Fest. So let me know if you guys have any questions, that kind of stuff. All the main raiders, you know, Moxie and Gang. I like that name. I'm gonna tell Jack that next. Moxie and Gang. Jack is my boy. Jack is, if you don't know Jack, simply Moxie, plays out of Ottawa. One of the best grinders, trainers in the world. Clear weather, that was awesome. And then we had high IV. Yeah, we had partly cloudy for an hour, then we had rain, even though it wasn't rain. And then we had cloudy. We should do some instinct wafu. Yeah, I know, I'm definitely down to do that, especially with the DTC group over there. So I'm hoping someone else slots here so I can continue battling, but I'm gonna collect on this quest here. So this is example like one, like where I just store away because it's not a water spawn, and this one is a water. I'm not star pieces, but you know it's not that big a deal. Yeah, no, definitely some instinct wafu in Chicago. But yeah, like Jack, amazing guy, super hard grinder, very methodical and logical. I really appreciate the style of gameplay he has. I think he's plus he's a super nice guy, super considerate and whatnot. So that's awesome. Level 98%, level 35. That's crazy. What the heck is wafu? So let me catch up with these things. So like wafu is this style of rating. So like typically, oh my gosh, Centric, stop doing that. Oh, the Centric's embarrassing me. Come on. Now I threw too high. So basically, most people when they pull up rating, they pull up to the gym. They like go in with like, you know, wait for everybody, go 10-15 people in, and then wait for the battle to move on, catch it, then go off on their way or on to the next raid. What Wafu raiding is this, the story behind it is that we realized that they were doing this in Singapore and in Japan and many other places, where as soon as the battle starts, as soon as like the lobby time's done and you go past the go screen, you can leave the raid, and then like leave the raid area, and as long as you don't faint, you can collect the rewards. So what they do is like instead of like spending time at the stationary at one location while battling, they're moving on to the next location, and that takes a significant amount of time. So you can imagine like instead of waiting 2 minutes, then 3 minutes for the battle, 5 minutes, and then like, you know, another 5 minutes for the catch sequence, whatever, for everybody. That's like, you know, effectively 10 minutes. You basically cut that down to 2 minutes, and you use that 8 minutes to travel to the next gym, which is, and then so I think this is during Raiko or Entei. I can't remember. I think it was maybe it was early on Entei. I was, you know, riding with a bunch of people, and doing some raids, and then I was like, oh man, if we don't leave now, we're gonna miss this next raid, and this next raid's closer to the one after that. It's way better for our routing, and so I was like, you know what, like let's just try this. Let's just leave, and then if we fail, whatever, we're closer to the next raid. We're closer to these other ones. It's way better, and then we did it. We did it, and we just kept doing it and kept doing it. And I was like, oh man, this is amazing. It's so efficient. We're getting so many raids in, all this stuff. And then I asked Masato, who's a Japanese player on Twitter, a very prominent player, has like, you know, some pretty crazy stats, like 200,000 spins or reached 100 million XP, all this stuff, right? Like pretty crazy player. Great guy too, very friendly. And then asked him, please catch. No, there's no way I can catch Brendan. Brendan's too amazing. There's no way I can catch him in XP. But I asked Masato, I was like, oh, can you tell me how you say, Japanese style in Japanese? Because we want to pay homage to one of the first groups that we heard about the style rating. And then he gave me like, a couple different options. And I saw the easiest one was like Wafu. And I was like, oh man, let's use that. And then we started calling it Wafu rating. And, then they started doing it in Orlando and Reversal and Pokemaster Holly. Prodigy Nation started doing it. And then it started spreading. Now they do it like they mastered it, and then they like close to mastering it. Like as you never master something, you keep doing it, and they did it. In Kansas, they do it with no maps, 108, crazy number, super amazing. They do it in Oklahoma City, they do it in Germany, and all these places, and it's kind of cool to see how. Have you ever met Yama in real life? So Yama, for context, is either the first or second. There's TK3DA, highest XP Instinct player in the world. Those guys kind of go back and forth. I don't follow. Yama's like a little bit more public and a little bit more social media stabby, until you can defeat that century. So he's a little bit more social media settings. So I might just know his numbers better. But those two players are like both like probably around. They're probably both over 400 million XP. So I've never met Yama in real life, but my friend Joe's Malos, one of the top female players in Canada, and one of the top players in the world, frankly. She goes to Japan pretty often, and she meets up with those like Yama and Kubayan and Masato and all those guys, and we sometimes do WhatsApp calls. So I've talked with him before for sure. Yeah, me, Brendan, Yama, Fubar in Europe would be all amazing. It'd be pretty crazy, but I have fun with my group as well. So that's all cool and interesting, for sure. So, what? I think I'll leave the last power up. Actually, I didn't give you this egg. I'll leave this last power up to Twitter. So follow me on Twitter, and I'll have a little voting thing. You should do. Man, I want to do Wafu with Yama. One of my friends, I think he's from Sweden. Correct me if I'm wrong. He might be watching this stream. Matthew, as we like to call him. He went to Japan and he Wafu raided with them. He said it's like it's fun. It's pretty intense. When you come to DC, I'd love to do Agron. Oh man, I'm down. DC, one of my very good pogo friends, Panos. I'm sure you know Panos. He's a doctor, funny guy, very nerdy, super nice. We do a lot of raiding together when he's back in town and when he was in town, and we spend a lot of time grinding together. Great guy, so I'd love to visit DC, and if DC gets cloudy a lot, man, let's go and do a Agron. I'm down for sure. Love to visit. These are places I want to visit. Maybe I'll I kind of experienced this like when I went down to Texas. It was kind of cool to fly down. It was very exhausting, extremely exhausting, like very tiring to make those treks. Going to the airport, parking my car, figuring out how I'm gonna park, all that stuff. And yeah, man, that'd be pretty crazy. Oh man, okay. I missed that last question. No, the last question before. Let's see if I can find it. Anyways, going down to Texas was super exhausting, but super worth it. Had a lot of fun down there, and it was kind of cool to see a different environment. And when I go to these new environments, I think a lot of people mistaken. I run this crew in Toronto. I think a lot of people mistaken my personality to be like very strong, or I kind of just take control. Yeah, in this situation where I do take control, but same thing what I built out in Toronto is I wasn't loudest voice. That's not necessarily how I build trust or build communities. I build it by listening, understanding, helping where I can, and helping people build trust, and really in truly investing in people. Right, so when I go to other places, sometimes a little quiet, or I just observe and try to understand what they're doing, what their style is, and probably my input here and there. But yeah, so I'd love to those weekend trips down to Texas really very tiring, but really taught me like a cool perspective to kind of like learn a community over these course of the weekend. So I'd love to do like weekend trips to DC or New York. I did New York City with Noel, and I did like walk through where we were walking and taking the subway and the bus towards different raids, which was really intense and ton. To be honest, like one of the most fun times I had in a really long time. So it was really cool. Plus, like New York City, Midtown Manhattan is like there's so many stops and so many spawns. My Go Plus was like going off nonstop, and every raid we went to, there was like 20 people in the lobby. So it's craziness. It's something that I like never experienced before. So that's kind of cool. So I love to do like New York City, DC, Philadelphia, Montreal, Ottawa, all these different places. That'd be kind of cool. Chicago. So how to use Discord. I don't actually, to be honest, I don't use Discord that often. That's not really probably main reason why is that like in Toronto, I kind of run this like not run. I run with this like very small group in Toronto, like very high level players. Well, for some reason I found a candy. That's weird. I think that's one of my quests too. Earn a candy. Oh, I didn't even get the quest for that. What the heck? So I run with this like very small group, and we just use WhatsApp and we do use Discord a little bit for coordinating our walkthrough raids, especially with people from out of town, that come from Kitchener and Waterloo or come from like other areas to like kind of point them there, and they join the raid bot. And okay, that was weird. That was delayed. If you could play 2 hours a day, how would you maximize your gameplay for XP? You just do raids. Like, to be honest, like raids are so OP for XP, you cannot beat it. We need Instinct at number 1 player. No, I think they might be upset at me if I do that. Raids are just like, you're basically doing like 10,000 off egg, 20,000 XP in 2 hours. If you play like peak time in 2 hours, you can probably do like, I don't know, you maybe do 20 raids in 2 hours. You do 20 raids in 2 hours, that's 400,000 XP. On egg. Like 400,000 XP, and if you're like Go Plussing and spinning and all that stuff and doing evolves during it, like you probably crank out like in 2 hours like 550, 600,000 XP in 2 hours. Like that's like before when I grinded, that was like 9 hours. So like 9 hours of grinding. So shiny, come on. I don't have a shiny Whalmere yet. Do you think they wouldn't be upset? No, I can't do that to them. Did raiding ruin the game? I would say no. Like raiding added an aspect of interactive and social cooperative gameplay that didn't really exist before, and you see a lot of people playing that wouldn't be playing without raiding. Did raiding distort XP? Absolutely. Like there's no doubt about it. When like a single aspect of gameplay matters so much more. So like for example, triple XP on catches should be really OP, but like if you spent your time raiding, you would have got more XP than if you would have did that way. Are there any difficult challenges for Dragon Call? I have level 40 of them. The problem, there's certainly challenges where you can use Breath Claw, and you can run these simulators and create these situations where it's particularly challenging, and like that's what some of these challenges are. We just create these like arbitrary rules and try to make it more difficult on ourselves without necessarily having some particular reward. So like for example, when Kaito Nolan and I duo Latios with Dragonites, that was like an arbitrary set of rules that we said like, oh, we're not going to use Rayquaza, we're going to try to duo it because the simulators say it's like barely possible to do it, so let's go and do it. Same thing with like this Breath Claw stuff. Like it's a little harder to parse out because Breath Claw is not the optimized moveset for raids. One, because Dragon Claws like does very little damage compared to Dragon Tail, and as well like it's cycling through. It's not that great, and it's different than gyms because like in gyms like if you're sweeping through a low motivation gym, then they won't be as safe. You would do it. I'll take a look at Discord after Tyler. to take a look at the problem with like Dragon Claw is like it does like very little damage for how long of a move it is, right? And if you think 3 bar compared to 2 bar compared to 1 bar, so like when you go from 1 bar to 2 bar, you're basically cutting the energy you need in half. Versus when you go to 2 bar to 3 bar, you're only cutting like a third of it, whatever the math works out to be. Yeah, whatever the math, I think it is a third. Wherever the math works out to be, you're only saving a third versus a half, which makes a huge difference in terms of time and energy as well. There's not as much wasted energy compared to there's no like what I said earlier was like if you get hit by a charge move while you're doing your 1 bar charge move, you don't get the energy from it. Versus like a 2 bar move you always do and a 3 bar move you always do. So like that advantage from 1 to 2 doesn't exist for 2 to 3. So that's like the issue with Dragon Claw. The best combos. Do you think you can make a video? Yeah, I'm doing. So generally I don't do charges for 5-star raids. Yeah. So generally like I don't do those videos on like what are the best counters against tier 5 raids, the newest tier 5 raids. I'm perfectly capable of doing it. Like I can do the research and all that stuff. I do think places like Game Press, places like Poke Battlers, like Raid Guide, stuff already does it, so it kind of like fills that niche, and I would like basically be regurgitating what they've already provided, like minus a few exceptions. For me, like I'm trying to fill this niche in the market of like what are some like really extreme things that legit though you should submit. That would be funny. Okay, I'll take a look at it. I kind of missed that part over there. So, what was I saying? Oh man, I lost my train of thought. Man, what was I talking about? So I got like easily distracted. It's also been a very long day. I woke up at like 5 a.m. So I'm feeling a little tired. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the 5-star rates. So generally, I don't do those things because like I feel like there's already a market and like very competent and smart people that already do it, like Ryan Swag. Check out his channel. He does a lot of like really great videos. Versus me, like I'm trying to fill this niche of like really high level gameplay. Do you have any ideas on how to change your gameplay? So I'm trying to fill this like void of like really high level gameplay. You're using the very best spawns. You're like breaking the simulators. You're doing things that have never been done before. That's like kind of like the void I'm trying to fill in the market and trying to do that kind of stuff, because I'm like very fortunate in terms of the resources and the time and effort that I've been able to put in so far, and the strategies I've been able to implement. Changes that I think would make this game better. Like I think PvP is like that's probably the longest you've gone without a shiny. That's a good joke. It probably is, to be honest. I think PvP is what people are looking for at this point in the game. Quests are fun. Quests are enjoyable. The Mew series the secret research stuff was fun, enjoyable. A little too short for some people. But I think like PvP is like this like long-standing, and how people like thought about Pokemon in the first place and implementing Pokemon GO. Obviously, if it's somewhat good, will go a really long way for gameplay. Oh, really, really, really good question. So, any other questions? I'll probably stay in the stream for a few more minutes because I do have to go home, rest up, all that stuff. Yeah. Anything else that you want to ask me? Let's claim this reward. Scrabby. 568. Oh, come on. That would have been a good throw, too. There you go. Missed out on... I'll never catch Brandon if I don't get these first throw bonuses. Reggie Rock definitely can't be duoed. Can potentially be trioed in Rain. It's like not sure if they can. We're trying to like think about things that the simulator doesn't take into consideration. So they factor in relobbying. Are you excited for the draft league in Pool A? Oh, I'm in Pool E. I didn't. No, I'm actually not in Pool E. It's just that draft league is something that Michael Obregon out in Vancouver told me about, and then or the concept of draft league. Michael Obregon told me about it, and then I asked him, "Do you want me to ask some soloists what they think about it?" And then I told the soloists, and they got really excited. Yeah, just like Pokemon Go. Draft league is something. Basically, the concept of this draft thing or esports type of thing is that will you be getting the Switch? You can trio Reggie Steele. Oh man, there's a million questions you guys ask me. It's good. Keep asking. Can you trio Reggie Steele? Yeah, I plan on trioing Reggie Steele with Kaito Nolan and Alan Cook in neutral weather, and then we're gonna do a lot of fun. If it's clear, we're gonna do a lot of fun trios that way as well. Shit and praises Krabby. All that stuff. Oh man, what was I talking about? Trio, duo, PvP. Oh man, I'm kind of pooped in my draft league. Oh, that's it. That's what it is. I'm tired, guys. I'm tired. So draft league. Talk about this idea. Will what the next Pokemon that will topple the community? Okay, some good questions here. Some really hard hitting questions here. Let's go over them one by one. So, draft league. Let me finish my story about draft league. I wish I had my computer so I could see all the questions, so I didn't have to remember them off the top of my head because I'm very tired right now. Draft league. So the concept of it is creating this esports version, some competition in Pokemon GO. So basically, you can, 6 to 8 people, however it is, they select 10 to 12 Pokemon. Basically, once they draft a Pokemon, that Pokemon can't be selected by someone else. And then you go over the list, and there's different variations on the rules and whatnot. So I told the soloist chat, a chat that we have with some of the world's best soloist players. Players that do solo raids, and I told them about it, and they're really excited, and they're like, okay, can we run our own draft league? So I'm like, sure. So I work with Wasa and Anthony, and they've done a phenomenal job in running that, so I'll applaud to them. So they're on draft E, so draft A included many players, and then so now they're all at E. So I'm just included in all those chats because as part of the original idea and kind of overseeing it. I'm actually not participating in draft E right now. And then as well, there's the podcast draft with Michael Obregon, and so that he's running and leading. So with lots of really really amazing players doing that. It's really interesting to see the type of Pokemon that you want to select for that one. So I have some opinions and thoughts. Obviously, you want to focus more on, do you have type coverages over certain types? So for example, do you have your rock covered? Do you have your ground covered? Do you have your water covered? So water, you could either approach it from, electric or grass. Some people might favor grass, even though Raikou is much better than Frenzy Plant Venusaur, than Executor with a Bullet Seed Solar Beam. But as soon as you put Weather Boost, Clear Weather Boost, which is summertime, at least in North America, and in the northern hemisphere, I should say, then all of a sudden you have you have clear more often than you would otherwise. So now all of a sudden clear becomes a much more viable option to cover water. So there's lots of different consideration. Then you gotta factor in yes, you have these type coverages, but are you actually gonna be able to beat the raid boss in time even with Weather Boost? So you gotta think about generalists Mewtwo, Dragonite, Alakazam, Gengar, Salamence, Rayquaza. These Pokemon that can beat a lot of the tier 3 raid bosses with Weather Boost or without Weather Boost, and beat the clock. So you can use them. So for example, you can use your specialists. So for example, Kaito Nolan did Vaporeon solo with a very difficult team. So you use Jolteon Dragonite and Alakazam and Banette, and really only Jolteon is the only one that had type advantage. In this case, just super effective, not resistance. So you got to use like Jolteon to do as much damage as possible by dodging the charge moves, and you got to figure out like, does a dodge Jolteon, because you are losing DPS from not receiving the energy, and as well from the time it takes to dodging, is a dodge Jolteon better than a undodged Alakazam with Confusion Future Sight? Like, you gotta really, that's like a kind of a different style of gameplay. That's just, which is why I find it really interesting to see all the different teams and options. And I was talking with Julio from Brazil. If you haven't subscribed to Julio, you're definitely missing out, because he's like some of the craziest solos in the world. He's like, 12 legacy Gengars with Shadow Claw in it. Like 6 of them have Shadow Ball, 6 of them have like Sludge Bomb or whatever the legacy poison moves. Really crazy thing. We were like just discussing like, how do you solo with his particular team. We were talking about weather boost and how much damage you need. So really, really interesting dynamics and challenges that they have when you go and selecting these Pokemon, especially when you don't necessarily know what the raid bosses are, because they rotate with these like unpredictable. Now, there's predictable that there's going to be events, but it's unpredictable what the event is going to be generally, and all that stuff. Man, I've left this gym gray for a long time and no one has slotted in. That's crazy. I was hoping someone would. So, and then PvP really great, and they can make it like Pokemon Coliseum. I've never played Pokemon Coliseum, so I have to trust your word. So let's see if the stream is still okay. Perfect. I know I'm rambling, so let me know if this is boring or interesting or that stuff. PvP, and then obviously the question is, what are my thoughts on the spoofing community? So personally, I wouldn't want to play with anyone that spoofs, but like I'm also not so maybe because I didn't do a lot like gym gameplay back before. Like I'm not, for me like it's different. So like for example, I didn't do a lot of gyms, so like back in the old gym system. So like I hear all these horror stories where people like battle back and forth with people in the gym system in the rain, in the middle of the night, in the winter, in the snow, all this stuff. So I understand their pains and gripes on it. But for me, I didn't experience that pain, so like it's not as personal, as relatable to me. I think there's like, it's a beautiful game to go out and play and meet people. I've like, played people in the middle of the winter and grinded, did all these experiences, seen all these sites. I know the streets of Toronto so well now that I wouldn't been able to if I treated this, like any other game, that kind of stuff. So like I see a lot of value in it, and I see that a lot missing in it. But personally, I'm not as effective in it. And like, I did this like XP grind. That's kind of like my thing. Before raids came out, was like all this XP grind and helping people get level 40. Like none of that was really impacted by spoofers. So my opinions are not as like heavily biased based off of my personal experiences. So like for me, it's like I don't really give too much thought to them. But also I don't go around, cursing their name, all this stuff. But I can understand if people have that perception because they've had these like negative experiences. But it's like you can understand why someone might have a negative experience, like have a certain feeling if they have had negative experiences dealing with certain individuals, and also I think like how people spoof is different, is very different. But that's another story, another challenge. So for me, I wouldn't want any of my friends to do it, or people that I play with to do it, which is tricky to completely parse out because you don't really know how it's doing. And versus like I understand why people would have this like really negative perception and strong perception around it. So you got a 96 Kyogre, that's awesome. Shiny Kyogres are also super fun. That's crazy, like how long this gym's been down, and no one's thinking it. Anyway, that's my stance. Some people may be upset that I'm not more upset, or some people might feel upset that I am. I wouldn't want to necessarily play with anyone that. Yeah. Anyways, that's just my perspective on it, and just like my honest opinions on it. Like for example, I wouldn't want any spoofers in the verified 40 group. that haven't redeemed themselves in some meaningful way. Because like, you know, Fleece King on Twitter, he's actually a player as well. He's an example of someone who had cheated in the past, and then decided not to cheat and not to spoof anymore, and now he's like one of the top players in the world, and he's really turned around his perspective in his gameplay. So it's like someone. So again, every Larvitar was boosted for me. Very nice. Anyways, those are my thoughts, perspectives on that kind of very heated topic. Yeah, maybe some of you may not be satisfied with that, but this is just how I feel and what I think about it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And any other questions? I'll stay on the stream for another couple minutes, but I do have to head out fairly soon, so I can move on with my day or my rest of my night. Maybe not as exciting. Now I gotta look up my Tyranitars. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I have a 11, soon 12 level 40 Tyranitars. It's gonna be crazy. Alright, have a good one. I should rename these Bite Crunch ones. Thank you. Alright, have a good evening. Thanks, guys. If you guys haven't subscribed already, don't forget to leave a like on this video. I will be uploading this video, so take a look, give me some commentary, give me some feedback. If you guys like this, let me know. And thanks for everything. Thanks for watching. I know it's not the most exciting stream in the world, and a lot of it is me rambling on different topics. So hopefully you guys find it enjoyable. Thank you, and have a good night, everyone, or good day, depending on where you are in the world.